Well, good evening. We thank you for tuning in to In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. I tell you guys, we are so excited for you joining us on this evening. Listen, get on the phones, call a neighbor, call a friend, text, whatever you got to do to let your folks know that In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman is live and in living color, as you can see.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, we have on. So you might be wondering, like, what in the world they got on these disco jackets for? No, but this is actually our 4-year broadcast anniversary type of celebration. And so we just wanted to do something a little different, something to catch your attention while you were viewing us. And so if you know me, I could put on some things to kind of catch your eye. And so we just wanted to do something to really kind of pique your interest. Those that are just scrolling on Facebook, that will kind of pique your interest to kind of get you to tune in to what we're talking about tonight. But this is our 4-year broadcast anniversary.
Yeah, we started February 14th of 2017.
Which was the second Tuesday of the month at that particular time, which makes today the second Tuesday of February. And so again,
hi, Miss Doris.
Hey, Miss Doris, how you doing? And so yeah, this is not our actual anniversary, but the anniversary of us broadcasting In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. And so we're just so excited, man. We're gonna have a ball. We're gonna pick up on the last episode we had. Some real good information that was shared, a lot of questions, a lot of feedback. And so we wanted to kind of piggyback on that and then take it a little bit further. Because again, we've just been watching, especially during this pandemic, what most will call the demise of the family. I think that most people have seen families fall apart during this pandemic than any other time I can recall. And I'm not so sure if it's just more people are separating, more people are walking away, or is it that we just have so much access to people's lives through social media and things of that nature. And so, but we wanted to touch bases with you guys. We wanted, hey, cuz, how you doing?
Hey, cousin.
We wanted to just touch bases with you guys and encourage you that the best is yet to come. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how things have been going. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how it seems. I don't care about any of that. When you know the best is yet to come, guess what? The best is yet to come. And so that means you're going to have to strap those boots up. You got to tie them down tight. You're going to have to put those gloves on and you got to come out fighting. You're going to have to fight the good fight of faith. You got to fight for this thing, man, because the enemy job is to kill, steal, and what else?
Destroy.
Kill, steal, and destroy. He's going to do it by any means necessary. Hear me what I'm telling you guys. He's doing it by any means necessary. And unfortunately, baby, it doesn't even take much nowadays to get folks to part. It doesn't even take much nowadays to get folks to throw in the towel. You have one little disagreement, one misunderstanding, one accusation, anything, and people are just walking away. They're throwing in the towel. And I'm telling you something. You have no idea the magnitude of the impact your marriage relationship is having on others. Folks don't get it, babe. They don't understand the impact of them hanging in there, them making that thing work, because marriage is made easy. How is marriage made easy?
You make it easy.
Say that again?
You make it easy.
You make it easy.
Not that it is easy. You have to make it easy.
Hold on, say that again. They didn't hear you.
Not that it is easy. You have to make it easy.
You have to make the marriage is made easy, which means you're going to have to put some effort. You're going to have to put some elbow juice in this thing. You're going to have to put some work in it. You're going to have to do the things that's necessary for your marriage to be easy. And guess what? It can be easy. Just like you're saying marriage, just like in the same breath, some of you are saying marriage is hard. Guess what? The same breath you're going to be saying marriage is easy.
Hey, Chief.
What's going on, fam?
Good to see
Yeah.
you.
And so, man, listen, we are excited. 2020 was an eye-opener. 2020 brought some things into most of our lives that we had to look at from a different perspective, from a different point of view. And I'm telling you guys, when you had that's the importance of getting eye checks. Mm-hmm. The importance of getting eye checks is so that you can know your proper vision. And if there's some corrective things that need to be given, that goes the same for just regular relationships. Oh, yes, indeed, period. And that's a great question, because I'm going to touch on that, because what we talk about isn't just for blended families. Mm-hmm. Now, we are a blended family, 23 years going strong. We are a blended family. But guess what? We deal with what every family deals with, whether it's a traditional or whether it's blended. We deal with the same things. There's nothing new that's going to hit a blended family that traditional families don't go through. There's some different aspects of it, but the reality of what families go through, we all pretty much go through the same thing. We all pretty much go through the same thing. And so we share these nuggets, these truths, so that you can be transformed. Correct. Scripture says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make. Mm-hmm. And not set, it's going to make you free. When you know the truth, guess what? It will now allow you to do the things that are right to be done. Mm-hmm. It will allow you to do the things that you know should be done, not what you think should be done, but what you know should be done. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in the lesson, because there are a lot of people there doing things that they think should be done. But that inner voice, that inner man, that inner being is letting you know that's not the right thing to do. That's not the right thing to do. And I'm telling you guys, when you begin to trust this process, you're going to see your relationship go further than you've ever seen it gone before. That's right, Chief. 2020 was definitely the year of vision. There were some things, man, that I saw in 2020 I hadn't seen before. There were some things about me in 2020 that I saw I didn't see before. There were some things about me in 2020 that my wife didn't see before. She said, where in the world did that come from? Like, who are you? And so 2020, man, it revealed, it unveiled, it opened up areas in our lives that most of us didn't pay attention to, that most of us didn't know were there. There were some people who just wanted to work a regular 9 to 5, but COVID came along and it took them from being an employee to an entrepreneur. It took them from doing things that they never saw themselves doing to now they're doing it in a greater fashion, in a greater magnitude. I asked you guys this question. I've been asking this question all 2020, and I'm still asking this question. Who would have thought you could make $1 million making face masks? Who would have thought? Nobody could have paid me to make me believe that I could make $1 million doing face masks.
Hey, Pastor Jody.
What's going on, sir?
And Albert, hey, sir.
Everybody and their mama got face masks. Everybody and their mama got face masks. I don't care, every designer, Gucci, you name it, Fendi, Michael Kors, Tom Ford, whoever. Everybody has face masks. Jody got face masks. Put that face mask at, Jody. We miss you, man. We need one of those MOM face masks. And I'm telling you something, guys. Everybody has them, and they're prospering in it. Something so simple as a piece of cloth with a string or a tie onto it, going around your nose and your mouth, looping around your ears, is making people wealthy. Yeah. 2020, man, 2020 wasn't what people would consider an all bad year. Right. Now, granted, there are a lot of us that have lost some loved ones, a lot of us that some have gone on to glory, and we miss them, and we know that a lot of us have experienced that. But the overall picture, man, of 2020 haven't been bad. It's only how you're looking at this thing. It's only how you're viewing it. And that's not to make light of anything that anybody has gone through. But at the end of the day, guess what? There were years that we experienced before 2020 that was worse than 2020. Let's be real. There were some years in your life that you experienced before 2020 that was a lot worse than 2020. The only reason why we're giving so much attention to it because it's something that has been affecting the world at large. Yeah. It hasn't just been you, it's been affecting everybody at the same time. But if you be truthful and honest, you will admit that, guess what? I've been through worse. I've been through worse. There were some things, that's right, 2020 was a great year for the flexors. You better believe that. There were some things that I've been through, man, years ago, and not too far off, that didn't compare to the things that I've been through last year. And so when I begin to look at the goodness of God, man, and look at how he's protected me and how he's covered me and how he's made a way for me in spite of all that I've gone through, when 2020 came and hit, I was like, oh, I got this. I can handle this. Because if he did it before, do it again. Guess what? Same God right now, same God back then. He has given you the power, the ability, and the authority to overcome in every area of your life. Watch this. He has given it to you. A lot of times we say, God will, but at the end of the day, he's already given you the power. He's given you the authority. It's up to you to utilize what he's given you in order for you to get from life what life told you should have. Everything that you want to be, do, and have, you can still be, do, and have. Yeah. Everything that you want to be, do, and have, guess what? You can still be, do, and have. It doesn't matter what you're going through right now. Because what you're going through right now is a figment of the past. What do you mean? As soon as you blink your eye, what you're going through right now is in the past. That's just how awesome this thing is, man. It's so awesome that when you blink your eyes, some of you blink your eyes more than others. When you blink your eye, what you just did before that is in the past. And you have the ability to move forward. I can think back. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Way worse times in life, man. Way worse times. Way worse. Last year, I didn't get shot 5 times. Last year, I wasn't facing possible prison time. I didn't face that last year. Last year, I didn't have a contract to hit on my life. Last year, when nobody shooting bullets at me. I wasn't dealing with that last year. So the years that I dealt with that was a lot worse than last year, what last year presented to me. Last year may have presented some inconvenience. Last year may have presented some things that I may not have wanted to go through. But at the end of the day, man, last year didn't compare to laying up in DC General Hospital with 5 bullets in your body. No, I mean 5 bullet holes in your body. 1 bullet still left. Others they couldn't find. Last year didn't compare to that. Last year didn't compare to walking down the street and bullets flying over my head, and I don't know which direction they're coming from because somebody got a problem with what I was doing. Last year didn't compare to that. Last year didn't compare to a stack of people getting ready to testify that I was somebody in the community that I really wasn't, but they were willing to testify because, in that lifestyle, somebody got to take the fall. Last year didn't compare to that. And so when I dealt with last year, man, I said, hey, listen, I made it through all of this. This is a breeze right here. I got this. I got this. I can handle this. Might didn't want to go through some of the things, but I can handle this. And so, man, we're going to talk about some things, man, because all of this is about your heart. It's a heart thing. It's a matter of the heart. What you really want is a heart thing. And if you can deal with that heart thing, man, everything else will work itself out. The reason why people can't get increase The reason why relationships are falling apart, it's a matter of the heart. Even God said this. He said, listen, I didn't plan on divorce. Divorce wasn't even a part of the plan. Divorce came up because of the hardness of the heart. It was a hard thing. All these issues, man, all these defeating, deflating issues that you're dealing with right now are simply matters of the heart. You get that heart right, man, guess what? Increase is inevitable. Promotion is inevitable. It may take some time, but it's going to happen. It may take a minute, but it's going to happen. It may take a week, but it's going to happen. The reality is that it's going to happen. Because watch this. He said he created us in his image and in his likeness. We are gods in the earth, man. What you say has to come to pass. He said his word does not return back void. Listen to this. If his word doesn't return back void, we're gods in the earth. He made us in his image and his likeness. What makes you think that your word has the authority to return back empty? Your word has no authority to return back empty because you said it. When you said it, it got it. Listen, when you decree a thing, I don't care who don't want to participate, they're going to have to participate. They're going to have to put, that's right, Mr. Darrell, they're going to have to get the heart right. We got to get the heart right, man, because when we get the heart right, what we say now has authority. Your words don't have authority if your heart isn't right. Your heart is the magnet of your words. And when your heart is right, everything, there are laws, there are universal laws that are in place right now that I don't care if you agree with them. I don't care if you acknowledge them. I don't care if you know about them. They still here and they still operate and work and function. They work. Watch this. What goes up, what?
Must come down. What
goes up must come down. I don't care. You can disagree with that all you want to. Throw a rock up in the air. Guess what? That rock coming down.
Yep.
Throw a rock up in the air and stand underneath of it and keep looking and think it ain't gonna bust you in the head. Guess what? That rock gonna fall right down and hit you right in your head. Because what goes up must come down. That's a law. There's some things, man, that when we have a clear understanding of how he set this system up, man, we all can thrive. We all can be on top. And being on top and thriving is relative. Mm-hmm. And that's the key right there, man, because you got to take your eyes off of other people. You got to take your eyes. Watch this. Ain't no dudes getting on Facebook Live with this jacket on. They not doing it. Cat's not doing this next level stuff, this next dimension stuff, because I don't care what you think about that. This my style. This my fashion flow. This my swag. I like things like this. And so I can't be concerned or worried about how you want to dress or how you want to look, because this is what I like. This is what this is a part of my style. You might say, why? No, really. I mean, I remember back in high school, man, I was wearing tie-dye pants. Who in the world was wearing tie-dye pants? Me? I'm wearing tie-dye pants. The craziest things you can do, I was doing it. I just like different things. I love different things. And so, man, you got to understand, get that heart right. Out of the abundance of the heart. Out of the abundance of the heart. There's an abundance in the heart, man, that's ready to flow. That if that's not right, the wrong things come out. And when the wrong things come out, the wrong things come back in. And so, what are the 4 do's, baby?
4 do's.
The 4 D's. The 4 D's in the blended family.
Discern the things you want. Decide what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicate efforts in making it happen the way you want, and demand what you want.
So listen, these are the 4 D's, and we just doing an overview of last episode. The 4 D's. Desiring the things you want. There has to be a desire.
Right.
There has to be a desire. Then you got to make a decision. Once the desire is there, now you got to make a decision. Decide, is that really what you want?
Right.
Is that really what you want? Then after that, you got to dedicate efforts. You got to dedicate yourself to this thing, man. You got to dedicate yourself to having a better family. Dedicate yourself to being a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better child, a better brother, a better sister. You're going to have to dedicate yourself to that desire and to that decision. You can't have a desire and a decision without dedication. You can't. All of them come to place. Mm-hmm. And then you have to put a demand on it. Once those three things are in place, once those three things are in order, guess what? Now you can start demanding some things. I wanted to be a better husband. I wanted to be a better father. That was a desire. Mm-hmm. I made a decision that, guess what? There are some things that I can no longer do if I wanted to be those things. And then I dedicated myself to doing what I said I was going to do. If you say you want to accomplish something in this relationship, man, you got to put some work into it. Mm-hmm. I can want to be the best father all day long, but if I'm not open to my children, if they can't come to me with any and everything, without fear of judgment or condemnation or ridicule, if they can't just lay it all out on the table, then guess what? My desire and my decision meant nothing because I didn't involve dedication. Right. I didn't involve a work that needed to be done in order to get that result. Mm-hmm. And so these are important, man. First, desire what you want. Then decide, is that really what you want? Dedicate efforts to making it happen, and then demand that it happen. Yeah. Because you can do some things, but until you put your mouth on it, it ain't moving. It's not moving. Listen to this, guys. Your word will not return back empty. It won't return back empty. How can I put this? How can I put this? I can't stand them. That's your word. I can't stand them. Guess what? That word is not coming back empty. Because every time you see him, guess what's full of? I can't stand him. Every time you place your eyes on that individual, all you see is, I can't stand him. Those were your words. Your word does not return back empty. So if we've been so professional and so profound and so give me another word. If we've been so good at saying negative things, why you can't switch it? Why you can't switch up what you're saying? This is what I had to do. I had to tell myself, you're a good father. Yes, you're a good father. You're a good husband. I had to tell myself, even when I didn't see it, I had to tell myself that. And the more I told myself, the more it became clear to me. Not that it wasn't already there, but it just became clear to me. Right. And so we're telling you guys, man, you're going to have to put a demand on this thing. You're going to have to put a demand on what you want so that you can have what you want. Listen, the importance of maintaining the heart. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think you're not sufficient enough, if you think you're not worthy enough, if you think you're not deserving enough, if you think you're not good enough, if you think those things, then guess what? That's what you are.
Words good or bad or powerful.
That's right. Words good or bad or powerful. I got a family member. I'm going to say it like this. I got a family member that for years told their child, you trifling, you sorry, you ain't nothing, you just like your daddy. Guess what happened? He grew up and fulfilled every declaration that his mother made. Every negative declaration that she made over his life, he fulfilled that. For years, and I was seeing this growing up, and I'm like, why does she keep saying that? That ain't changing him. And she would say things like, you trifling, you no good, you this, you that, you this, you that. And he fulfilled every prophetic word that she spoke. Imagine if she would have taken the time and say, you're awesome, you're wonderful, you're intelligent, you're special, you can do all things, nothing can stop you. Just imagine if she would have taken that time to speak positive over his life instead of the negative. What she would have got out of his life. Not just what he would have got out of his life, but what she would have got out of his life. Because everything that I do, my wife gets something out of it. Everything that she does, I get something out of it. But watch this, everything we do, we get something out of it. And so imagine the fruit that she would have got out of that relationship had she have spoken the proper things over his life. Imagine. As a man think in his heart, so is he. The heart is the heart is in a constant two-way dialogue with your brain. Man, your heart is constantly. That's why sometimes you just gotta take a moment to woosah. Because there's always a dialogue. You know how people be saying stuff like, man, my mind just be racing. It's just always moving. Guess what? Because there's a dialogue going on. Yeah. There's a dialogue going on. And sometimes you just gotta calm yourself down. Still away, like they used to say back in the day, still away, get to yourself and just meditate. Just hear. Get all the noise out your ears and all the things that's going on, get it out of your way so you can hear clearly. And when you do those things, guess what? You'll start hearing clearly, man. You'll get the direction you've been looking for because it's already there. Mm-hmm. The reason why you don't know it's there because you got so many other things just rolling around. Every answer that you're looking for is already here. Every answer. We are the answers. Mm-hmm. Everything that you need to be a success is already on the inside of you.
Already on the inside of you.
Already on the inside of you. And I thought about this today, babe. I thought about this today. So many times we have used the excuse that we didn't have a father at home, or, we didn't have good examples, and, we didn't have a mother at home, and our parents were, alcoholics or on drugs or abusive and all those different things. And so many, and that's true. That's not to take away from those things. But at the end of the day, everything you need to be a success is already on the inside of you. It's just a matter of a decision. Because there were some things I saw growing up that my parents didn't tell me don't do. I decided not to do. Because there was something on the inside of me that showed me that's not what you should do. There was a voice speaking to me that tell me, don't do this. Don't do that. Now, there were a lot of times that I ignored that voice. But there were quite a few times that I didn't. And I really saw the times when I didn't, how important it was for me to listen to what he said. Everything you got on the inside, man, to be a great husband, to be a great father, to be a great wife, to be a great mother, to be a great spouse, everything that you need is already on the inside. There are some things that my wife and I that we've been sharing with each other over the last 23 years. Nobody sat us down and taught us this. Nobody sat us down and said, this is what you need to do. That is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. That is how you need. Nobody sat us down to do that. Right. We realized that we already possess those things and we just let them have free course. If you can't trust the inner man, if you can't trust you, guess what? There is no trust. If you can't trust you, there is no trust. And don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about falling short. That's going to happen. Everybody makes mistakes. Listen, Jeff Bezos making mistakes. He worth over $100 billion. I mean, really, we think like making a mistake and making an error is the end of the world. No, it's not. You're not the first person and you're not going to be the last. So let's move beyond that. Keep your heart with all diligence, man. Keep your heart. For out of it are the issues of life. Out of your heart, man, are the issues of life. flows the issues of life. Everything that pertains to life is in your heart. It's in your heart. It's already there. All you got to do is trust what's coming out. And you know when that thing that's coming out is not right. You know it. How many times we done how many times we done did something we knew wasn't right? You know it wasn't right.
Or you said something.
And you knew you shouldn't have said it.
You be talking to yourself. I ain't gonna say it. No, I'm gonna say this. No, I ain't gonna say it. You're going back and forth with what you said. Then you go on and say it, and like, darn, I knew I shouldn't have said
that. You watch this because you already knew that was there. You already knew what you should and shouldn't say. You already knew what you should and shouldn't do. It's just a matter of just making the right decision, making the right choice to do the right thing.
Right.
Because out of the heart, man, out of it flows the issues of life. Listen to this, as the most powerful and consistent generator of rhythmic informations and patterns in the body, the heart is in continuous communication with the brain and body through multiple pathways. They said that the heart is the most powerful and consistent generator. Not your brain, your heart. Your heart is. Your heart has a brain of its own. Your heart, as a man thinketh where? In his heart. Your heart has a brain of its own. Your heart isn't just there pumping blood. Your heart is there doing all kinds of things, man, to keep your body flowing. You could be brain dead and your heart still pump. Did you hear that, man?
Yeah.
You could be brain dead and your heart still pumping. You can't be heart dead and your brain still working.
Right. Yeah, because once your heart stops, that's it.
That's going to cease to perform the way it was. That's going to cease to perform the way it was. People have been on machines brain dead for years. Heart still pumping. Nobody has been heart dead on machines for years. Not that I've read of or heard about. And so you got to understand this thing, how important the heart is, man. How does the heart think? The neurons are fundamental units of the brain and the nervous system. The cells responsible for receiving sensory input from the external world, for sending motor commands to our muscles, and for transforming and relaying the electrical signals at every step. That's what the heart does. The neurons in the heart. The neurons are the fundamental units of the brain and the nervous system. The cells responsible for receiving sensory input. It's a system, man. We talked about the system. There's a system that's going on. It's the same way in the blended family. There's a system to this thing. If your heart is right, man, listen, there are some things coming into a blended family that if you don't check your heart, you're going to walk away. When that man got to pay child support.
Well, I mean, but that's something that should be done, though.
No. No. Let me finish. When that $1,600 check is now $400, because all the money is going out. Because he got to take care of them babies that he had before y'all got married. That could pose a problem.
Well, hopefully they knew it beforehand. It might be a problem if they didn't know, but if they knew it beforehand, then it shouldn't be a problem, because that means they accepted that.
True. But let me ask you this. What happens when they got married and he was making $800 every 2 weeks? Then he went up to $3,200 every 2 weeks. But in proportion to the payments, they stay the same. So although you're looking at now we're making $3,200, there's more money coming in. Guess what, baby? There's more money going out. Because in proportion to the payments, that's what he's going to have to pay.
Well, that's only if they ask for an increase. If ain't no increase, ask for the payment's gonna stay the same. I'm just saying, like something like that. That's when all these things should be brought out before marriage.
I've seen it.
Well, I'm just saying.
It sounds good in theory. But at the end of the day, a lot of women can't handle that. And if the truth be told, and we know the truth should be told, she shouldn't have to handle that. But it's what she signed up for.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's what she agreed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you sign up and you agree to this, you understand that there's some things that come along with this.
Right.
But a lot of times people don't think of those things though. They don't think of those things. And so when that time comes,
they don't think of it or they don't discuss it beforehand.
True.
Because if you discuss it beforehand, you put everything out there during the counseling sessions. Like we say, we think that people should, have counseling.
Say it again.
That people should go to counseling first, especially going into a blended family. I mean, marriage, period. I think,
but especially a blended family,
because you're bringing in, how many sides to.
It could be many sides.
Yeah, you got a whole lot of.
Because people got multiple kids with multiple men and women.
Yep. So you got in-laws, past in-laws. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Because watch this. All of these things become matters of the heart.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They was married for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all only been married for 2, and you wonder why the in-laws still communicating with him or her. Because they're a part of the family. They've been a part of the family for years, not just the 15 years they've been married,
right.
But whoever knows how long they was dating before they got married. Right. And so those things don't just cut off. Right. But if you don't get the proper counseling, if you don't sit down with somebody and get the proper instructions, ask the right questions, get the right answers, when that time comes, you don't know what to do. I ain't dealing with that man every time. They like her more than they like me. They like him more than they like me. They don't even speak to me, but they still call him brother-in-law. And so you got all these things, man, that people deal with. And guess what? We can fix that. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of the heart. Right. It's a matter of the heart. There was a statement, and then we gonna pick up. There was a statement that we said last week that we've been hearing now for the last 12 plus years. There was a couple that talked about early on in their marriage how things were out of whack, how they weren't on the same page with some things, and how it just was rough. And the wife said this. She said, I began to act like he was acting like he should have acted, and it changed the way I acted. Mm-hmm. And so we had a dialogue about it because Madeline thought she said something different. And I'm like, no, babe, y'all remember that? We talked about that for a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, babe, that's not what she said. She said she acted like he was acting like he was supposed to act, and it changed the way she acted. Yes. And so, man, listen, if you know me, some things I don't let rest. I said, call her, ask her what did she say, because we want clarity. I know what she said, but for clarity's sake, please find out exactly what she said. And what did she say?
Right, Miss Doris.
What did she say, babe?
Say what you said.
What she say?
I acted like he was acting like he was supposed to act, which in turn changed the way that she acted.
Changed the way she acted. Watch this. She started off changing her behavior because she knew that her behavior wasn't producing the right results. the way she was looking at things wasn't producing the right results. So she changed that. But in her changing, she imagined him doing all the things that she knew he should be doing. And it didn't change the way he acted, it changed the way she acted. Because in the midst of her acting, she became the role, or she owned the role that she was acting. Oh man, hear me when I'm saying this, guys. You can begin right now to take a position in life that's contrary to what you're doing, and it will begin to change things in you that will in turn make you become what you said you were already doing. And because of that, watch this, because of that, he changed.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask a question because I knew people would want to know. So did he eventually change his ways?
Yes. And watch this. But it took her changing.
Absolutely.
See,
because if both people acting a fool, then, and I'm just using that as, if
true.
both people acting a fool and nobody ever make the change, you're going to continue to have two fools. But somebody got to take the first step and change.
Okay, but how about this though, babe? How about this? Why are we always trying to change somebody else?
Well, I don't know why people, because you got to that's one thing you got to know. You can't change nobody. You have a hard time changing yourself. So Lord knows trying to make somebody else change.
But that's what I'm talking about. She said, you know what? I ain't even got time trying to change it no more. I'm going to work on me.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do everything that I supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And in her doing everything that she knew she was supposed to do, she became that person. Yep. She became that person. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be a boss man, act like a boss.
Only work on you.
Work on you.
That's right.
If you're going to be intelligent, work on you. Work on your intelligence. Yep. You can't fix somebody else's stuff. Work on your own. She began to put something in place for herself that represented what she wanted out of that relationship. And because she did that, not only did she become the person that she was designed to be, he became the person that she was designed for him to be. And you think what you're doing, man, you waste your time? No, you're not. You're not wasting your time. Keep washing his drawers. Keep cooking his food. Keep doing all those things. Listen, I'm telling you, eventually, sooner than later, that's going to change. Sooner or later, you're going to get what you want out of it. Now, this is the key to that. How consistent are you going to be in this thing? How persistent are you going to be in this thing? How demanding are you going to be in this? Are you just going to do something for a week or two, and then if things don't change, you're going to throw in the towel? Or are you going to commit yourself and resolve to total change?
Right. Regardless of how long it takes.
Regardless of how long it takes. Because when you resolve yourself to total change, it don't take long. Mm-hmm. It don't take long at all. But if you don't resolve yourself to total change, I'll give you a great example. For years, I acted a fool. For years. They was glad when I went to work and unhappy when I came home. For years. But when I resolved to win my family back, when I resolved to get my family back and be the person that I knew I should be and that I could be, because there's nothing impossible to them that believe. When I resolved myself to be that person, it didn't take long for me to win my family back. It didn't take long at all, because you know why? Deep down inside, that's what they was waiting for. Deep down inside, they was waiting for me to do the necessary things that I needed to do so that they could be a part of my life. All we saying is make a decision. Make a choice. She began to act like he was acting like he was supposed to act, and it changed the way she acted. It changed the way, and it wasn't long. Now their marriage is blessing millions across this globe. Millions. Imagine if she would have gave up years ago. Imagine if she would have gave up years ago, the impact that they would have lost in this world. The many lives, the many marriages that would not be here today, would not be successful today because they walked away.
Right.
You got to understand, listen to me, you that's watching us by Facebook and what's the other one? YouTube and all those visual stitches. You that's listening to us by way of radio and iCloud, all those different
social media.
All different social media outlets. Listen, your marriage is set on a pedestal for all to see. Your family is set on a pedestal for all to see. It's imperative. It's important. It's of the utmost necessity that you guys make it. People are depending upon you to be a success. They're depending upon you. If you throw in a towel, guess what? I never forget this. 1994, I came back to the city. And I don't know if you guys heard me share this story. I may have shared a little bit of it. And I'm just going to share a little bit of this right now. But I came back to the city and I was struggling. New man, born again, saved believer, preaching the word, out of the lifestyle totally. And I mean, I was struggling. Came back, didn't have a job. This is years before I met my wife. And I was just done. I mean, doing everything that I thought I could do to make it. And it was like, just, man, doors were shutting, one door after the other, one door after the other, one door after the other. And I got to the point, I had a buddy, he was out there. When I say he was out there, he was out there. He was out there. And I said, hey, man, listen, I beat them. We ain't had cell phones back then, you know. A few of us had them, but not many. So I beat them. I said, hey, man, hit it, you know the little code we used to send out with the pages. And I paged him, and he called me. I say, listen, man, I need some help. I've been back for about a couple months, and I'm struggling, bro. And I'm not that dude no more. I don't do those things. I don't desire to do those things, but I'm struggling. And I never forget, he said, okay, call me back in 5 minutes. So, okay. 5 minutes went by. I text him back in 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Beep, 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 beep. I beat him, called me back. He said, listen, come on over. I got something for you. Now that I got something for you could have been a whole lot of different things. Hear me when I tell you this, because he was out there. And so I never forget, I hop on the bus. I go back around the way. And I call him. I say, yo, man, I'm outside. And so he comes outside and he hands me a stack of money. And when he handed me the stack of money, I'm looking like, oh, okay, this thing just got real. And he said, listen to this, guys. He said, take this. I'm going to tell you what he told me. He said, take this. And if you ever need me, don't hesitate to call me. But then he threw a but. And I'm from DC. I like EU. I like big butts. That was a big butt. And so he said, but understand this. He said, listen to this. You can never come back out here again. Did you hear what I said? You can never come back out here again because we need you to make it. This is what the guy said to me. Listen to what I'm telling you. He said, take this money, do what you got to do for you and your family. But understand this, You can't come back to the block. You can't come back on these streets because we need you to make it. You are the only one that made the decision to do what's right. We need you to make it. That was 27 years ago. 27 years ago. And I talked to this brother just like I talked to him back then. But the great thing about it is he turned his life around. Why? Because somebody needs you. There are people that's what, and you're looking at your situation, you're looking at your circumstance, and they might be better off financially than you are right now. They may be better off in their business than you are right now, or whatever the case may be. But don't fool yourself into thinking that they're not watching you. Don't deceive yourself to believe that they're not looking at you as an arm and as a strength, as somebody that they can depend on, as somebody that's making a righteous stand. They're looking at you. And this brother, listen, I was the first one from the block. People that know this true. I was the first one from the block that walked away from the game. The first one. And all but 10 got saved. I mean, all but 3 got saved. 10 out of 13 got saved. I was the first one to make that choice and decision. People are watching you, man. Listen, and at that particular time, all them dudes, listen, if you knew where I grew up, if you knew who I was with, if you knew the neighborhood, if you knew all those things, the dudes had money. So it wasn't like this was something that I was doing bigger than anybody else, because I wasn't. But they were depending on me to keep the course. Listen, man, somebody depend on you to keep this course. This anniversary, these little flashy jackets, we put these on just to tell you keep the course. Keep fighting. Keep fighting a good fight of faith, man. Keep pressing. You're doing a better job than you think you're doing. Yeah, there's some things you can tweak. Yeah, there's some things you can change up on, but you're doing it back. Listen, because there's some change deceptions. What are they, baby? There are three perceived changes of behavior that are really deceptive. They really deceptive. Because a lot of you guys, when you get into this blended family dynamic, man, you infatuated by it. Man, he look good. Man, she look good. That's that infatuation. You enthused, you excited, man. I got this new thing. I got another opportunity. All these different emotions going on. Boom. And you turn around, a year or two go by, what happened, babe?
Reality check. Your reality.
Your reality sets in.
Reality sets in.
Not reality, but your reality sets in. Because perception is reality. It is really how you perceiving things that forms your reality. Yep. Now you're struggling in your reality. Because things you're no longer excited no more. You're no longer turned on no more. I'm still turned. I'm still turned.
That's when you got to kick in back to what you said earlier, that perseverance, that determination and willpower got to kick in.
Yeah. You got to be
put that continued effort in.
I'm determined she going to stay fine. You know what I said? I'm determined she going to stay fine. I'm determined she going to stay fine. When you stay determined that somebody going to stay fine, guess what? And there's no other options out there. That's not saying you don't see fine stuff. That's not saying you don't see whatever, but there's no options out there. Because you're determined that this is going to stay what it is. This ain't changing. That's why people can be married for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, and you still see them holding hands. Because in their perception, they still see that 18, 19, 20, 25, 30-year-old that they first met. and you're looking at all this sagginess. You're looking at all these changes in their physical body, and you're trying to figure out how in the world they still holding hands 50 years later. How in the world they still holding hands 60 years later? Why? Because in their perception, which is their reality, they still see each other the same way. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. What's that last one, babe?
Second nature. It becomes a habit.
Second nature. And guess what? It is.
Well,
there's really no second nature.
Yeah. It just becomes part of what you do.
There's no second nature because really what you consider second nature is really your first nature. You changing behaviors, all you doing is really coming to an understanding of what the right behavior really should have been all along. That's not a second nature, that's the first nature. The dumb stuff you was doing all along was the second nature. That was the second nature. You're really just coming in context or coming into contact with your original nature. Your original nature is to be loving, is to be kind, is to be humble, is to be submissive, is to be nurturing, is to be patient, long suffering. That's your original nature. That's your first nature. All those other things that you adapted by programming, you made that assumably or presumably your first nature, which it wasn't. That was something that you picked up along the way, but your first nature was already in place. Man, listen, I'm excited. This 4 year, I like this episode. This is our listen. Hey Tony, this is our 4th year. This has been we started this
February 14, 2017.
2017. And man, we have been blessed tremendously. Broadcast is heard in over 100 plus countries. Oh man, it's just been phenomenal. The impact is worldwide. But guess what? If we'd have walked away from this thing 20 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here today. If we'd have walked away 20 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here today. That's funny.
What you mean?
No, we wouldn't be sitting today.
Yeah. If you would have walked away 20 years ago.
Yeah, we walked away 20 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting today. Yeah.
Anywho, all right. So if you guys have any questions or comments, anything you all would want us to discuss, you can email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, intheblenderministries.com. You can also catch us on Thursdays radio via WJMS from 8 to 9 p.m. every Thursday, 8 to 9 on WJMS radio. You can also catch us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher. I think it's a couple more. I forget. But
it's expanding, guys. It's growing. It really is. And so we are excited.
Things, but we appreciate those of you that's been with us from the beginning. Some of you been watching us since then February of 20. Awesome word, good brother, full course meal. Oh, glad you enjoyed it, Robert. So good to see you. So we'll be back not next Tuesday, but Tuesday after next, same time, 7 p.m. So again, our email is weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. Our website, intheblenderministries.com, and tune in on Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. on WJMS Radio.
And listen, this year we're looking to be a little bit more interactive. And so if you are a blended family, if you're part of a blended family and you want to join us on In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman.
We love you too.
Listen, we want to make sure that we want to involve you guys into it because there's some things that you can share that can bless millions of others that are watching and listening to us. And so again, this year we're going to be doing a lot more interaction with couples and individuals that are blended families or are from blended families. And so we invite you, if you want to be a part of that, how can they reach us?
Send us an email at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com.
We would love to have you guys. I'm telling you, your story is going to bless millions. Your story is going to change the lives of millions. And so be excited, be encouraged. Know that you are more than conquerors. that nothing can stop you, that you can do all things because all things are possible to them that believe. And until next time, we love you guys. Be blessed.
Good night.